Hello, my dear children. Namaste and welcome to the next chapter of your ICSE Class 10 syllabus, your biology syllabus, and that is the excretory system. This is Ambika, your biology master teacher, right here on this amazing platform of Vedantu. Okay, children, so I really hope all of you have been staying safe and taking care of your health, because as I always say, that is of utmost importance, especially during these difficult times. Not just yours, also I really hope that collectively within family and friends, you have been continuing to follow all sorts of precautionary measures. So whatever is said and done, I know that mentally we are all sort of like adapted to the pandemic situation, but then it's completely our individual responsibility that plays a very huge role in helping us prevent this disease to a very large extent. Okay, so let's not forget that, and let us move on. As you know, this is again another human physiology chapter. We are already done with the circulatory system, and here we go. But before we get started, here is a motivational quote for you, which is a very simple formula for success. Passion plus consistency equals success. In fact, when you break up the word passion or when you break up the word consistency, I'm not saying literally break it letter by letter, but when you think about what are the ingredients that add to passion, what are the ingredients that add up to consistency, just think about it. Ask yourselves, what are you passionate about? I think that itself is the first step towards success. Because once you know what you're passionate about, you would certainly find ways to be consistent in practicing that particular thing. Trust me, and success will automatically follow. Okay, so here we go. We have a lot of amazing things happening at Vedantu, and the JEE results are among the latest best pieces of news that we at Vedantu have to share with you. So obviously I wanted to share it with you guys also. A lot of our students at Vedantu who were JEE aspirants in the last academic year have bagged top ranks in IIT JEE, and this has been the best results amongst all online classes. We can proudly say that the pandemic hasn't shattered the dreams of these young minds, and of course their teachers who have tirelessly worked, and their parents also who have tirelessly supported the teachers and students together, have played a major role in this. So here it is, celebrating our super scorers. You can see how many All India ranks we have: 582, 635, 663, 776, 778, and we have even 43, 208, 227, 290, 482. So many super scorers we have from the JEE advanced results. So hearty congratulations to all the children, all these super scorers, and definitely children, you guys, whether or not you are a JEE aspirant, it doesn't matter, but why we are sharing this with you is, one, of course, to celebrate our joy, to share our happiness, and secondly, I would want each of my children watching this session right now to take inspiration from these seniors, because they are just about a couple of years or 2 to 3 years probably older than you guys are, right? So just take inspiration from them. If they can achieve it, certainly you can also do it. Do not label yourself as a bad student ever. Trust me, everyone has the ability to perform well and become a topper. All it takes is understanding yourself. Okay? Things will automatically follow. So yes, today let us learn about the excretory products in human beings and the major organs of excretion. Okay, so what is it? One, let us start this chapter by breaking a myth that many of us generally have. Many people think that defecation or elimination of solid waste matter, which actually happens through the large intestine as part of the digestion process, undigested food matter, we know, gets eliminated through the large intestine. From the large intestine, gets stored in the rectum temporarily and gets eliminated through the anus. That is a process which we call egestion or defecation. Okay. Yeah, removal of undigested solid food waste is what egestion or defecation is. Opposite of egestion is ingestion. Do remember, this is completely different from the term excretion, because excretion solely refers to the removal of nitrogenous waste matter. And the bulk of nitrogenous waste matter in our bodies are eliminated by the VIP organs, which we are going to be discussing across this entire chapter. And those are, yes, the kidneys. But in addition to the kidneys, kidneys are definitely the primary organs of primary excretory organs. But then in addition to the kidneys, there are also a few other organs, perhaps some of which you never even imagined to be performing the function of excretion, which also carry out roles as accessory excretory organs. Okay, so let's have this in mind. Do remember, as responsible biology students, you must know the difference between excretion and egestion. Never ever use the term excretion while explaining the process of digestion in the alimentary canal. There you have to use the word egestion or defecation. Okay, so let us move on. Excretory products. Now, what are excretory products? Basically, we know that metabolic reactions happen in our bodies. Metabolic reactions produce products, their end products, along with the production of plenty of waste matter. Okay, so these waste materials are the excretory products that we are talking about. So, what are the principal or the primary wastes produced due to excretion? Of course, these are the major metabolic activities where we would find a lot of different kinds of wastes produced. Respiration, dehydration, synthesis, and protein metabolism, and many other metabolic activities, like collectively many other miscellaneous metabolic activities. Through the metabolic act of respiration, carbon dioxide and water are the major waste materials which are produced. But then in addition to carbon dioxide and water, maybe water in the vapor form, when you exhale, right, as part of breathing, when you exhale, we know that primarily carbon dioxide is eliminated. But there is also water vapor which is eliminated along with it, in addition to a few trace gases, a mixture of a few random miscellaneous gases. Okay, so this is as far as respiration is concerned. And then dehydration, synthesis, water of course would be the waste that is produced. Protein metabolism, deamination processes like deamination, that is what primarily results in nitrogenous wastes such as ammonia, urea, uric acid, and so on. And other random miscellaneous metabolic activities could also produce certain mineral salts. So these are the primary or principal wastes which can be produced in order to be excreted from the body. So let's look at the substances to be eliminated one at a time. Carbon dioxide and water. When you inhale, you take in oxygen. When you exhale, yes, as you can see, the diaphragm, the rib cage, everything is involved in this process. That's what you can see in this beautiful, simple animation here. Carbon dioxide and water, along with a few trace gases, get eliminated through the process of exhalation. Okay. Now, let's look at the nitrogenous metabolic waste. So, we know that in our bodies or in most living organisms, there are four major biomolecules that we know of. What are they? Carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acids. Lipids or fats, right? All of us know about that. So among all of these, proteins and nucleic acids are molecules which contain nitrogen as a major ingredient in them. Nitrogen forms a major component of proteins and nucleic acids. So at the end of protein breakdown, amino acids are produced. At the end of nucleic acid breakdown, nitrogenous bases are produced. Rather, these are the major ingredients or the major building blocks of proteins and nucleic acids, respectively. As you can see, they contain amino groups, like both of them have nitrogen as one principal ingredient or component in them. And as a result of protein metabolism and all of these processes, in most animals, like in most aquatic animals, such as a good majority of fishes, ammonia is one important waste which needs to be eliminated from the body, like a major byproduct from protein and nucleic acid metabolism. As far as mammals, amphibians, sharks, and certain bony fishes are concerned, urea is said to be one of the major byproducts. Okay, and in birds and many other reptiles, insects, and land snails, we say uric acid is one major nitrogenous waste product. Okay, so based on whether the major nitrogenous waste product is ammonia, urea, or uric acid, we actually describe these organisms as ammonotelic. Okay, ammonotelic example is fishes and many other aquatic animals. If it's urea, it would be ureotelic, like in the case of most mammals, amphibians, and certain fishes. And if it's uric acid, we call them uricotelic organisms. Okay, so these terms are given depending on what kind of nitrogenous waste matter is predominantly supposed to be eliminated from these organisms. Okay, so this is about the major nitrogenous metabolic waste. And of course, certain excess salts and vitamins also need to be eliminated from the body. Your skin, the integumentary system, which is nothing but your skin. The skin plays a major role in the elimination of water and some salts. Of course, we know in the form of sweat it does this, but also it helps in the elimination of a little bit of urea and uric acid and certain mineral salts. Okay, the kidneys also perform a major role in elimination of excess salts and vitamins, in addition to most of the nitrogenous metabolic other, like the urea and all of those that we have mentioned earlier. So what about the liver? Liver is also, if you ever thought that liver was an organ that is supposed to be a very, very important one only in the process of digestion, it's actually not so, because liver plays a major role as an excretory organ as well. Of course, it is an accessory excretory organ, the kidneys being the primary excretory organs in the body. The liver, what happens is there is a lot of blood filtration and toxins which go through the liver. And the liver, it is in the liver that a lot of toxins in the blood gets broken down into waste materials and then get eliminated from the body. Okay, so one example, in addition to these, even you know that liver and spleen are known as the graveyard of RBCs, right? If you have heard about that term, because ruptured and worn out RBCs are eventually getting digested and broken down in these organs. So in the liver, what happens is when these worn out RBCs are broken down, what do RBCs chiefly contain? They contain hemoglobin, if you recall, right? Because that is what carries around oxygen. So the hemoglobin which is there in these RBCs gets eventually broken down during this process in the liver into what we call the bile pigments. Okay, and bile pigments mix up with the bile and they enter into the small intestine, as we know, because as part of fat digestion this occurs. This is very, very important. And then it gets eliminated from the body along with the fecal matter through the large intestine. Okay, so this is what happens to bile pigments. Okay, so let's move on. And oh yes, let me remind you, before you guys forget, those of you who've been consistently playing VQuiz in the last few days, please don't give up. And those who are not aware of this, let me just give you a quick brief on what this is about. Now, KBC 2020 is around the corner, and we know that there is a student special week happening this time. And as many of you know, Vedantu is the official learning partner of this season of KBC, right? So for our dear children, we are giving this golden opportunity of getting closer to the KBC hot seat. And how do you do this? Very, very simple. You just need to play VQuiz every day at 11 a.m. and at 7 p.m. till the 18th of October. Okay, and just keep playing it, and that means you will increase your chances of getting closer to the KBC hot seat. People who regularly play VQuiz and end up winning many of these VQuiz series, many of these VQuiz episodes, would have a very good chance of getting closer to the KBC hot seat and meeting the great Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Okay, children, so do not forget to play VQuiz. So how do you do this? Just in case you are not aware of that, all you have to do is download Vedantu app, okay, from Google Play Store. Okay, so and then there you would find how to register, how to play, all the details you will find there. Just download Vedantu app from Google Play Store. Okay, so let us move on. Let's have a quick overview of the substances which need to be eliminated. Yes, carbon dioxide and water. How are they eliminated? Carbon dioxide is eliminated by the lungs, excess water is eliminated by sweat, nitrogen metabolic waste or nitrogenous metabolic waste are excreted mainly through the kidneys. Okay, then excess salts and vitamins are eliminated through kidneys and also through the skin in the form of sweat, along with sweat. Also excess water dissolves harmful substances which get later eliminated, okay, through different means. Bile pigments, I've already told you, because liver plays a major role in excretion, bile pigments get eliminated in feces or fecal matter. So yes, these are our major excretory organs. Kidneys, we call them the primary excretory organs, and the others, we call them the accessory or secondary excretory organs. So let's look at them one at a time. Kidneys, they look typically like this. We will be learning more about the parts of the kidneys. Also, we have a pair of kidneys. Most of us are aware of this. We've been hearing this from our lower grades. So they are, as you can see, the primary excretory organs. Okay. Accessory excretory organs. One major example is the skin. So what does the skin do? Skin acts as an excretory organ by removing waste in the form of sweat. So as I said, it is a means of removing not just water and salts, it also helps in the elimination of trace quantities of urea and various other random substances. Then, of course, lungs are another good example of accessory excretory organs through the process of exhalation. Liver, as we've already seen, the detoxification process, and by the elimination of bile pigments, we've already seen that. Now, let's talk more about our primary excretory organs, which are a pair of kidneys. So, the kidneys are found in the abdominal cavity on either side of the backbone, like towards the lower half of the body in the abdominal cavity, as I said. As you can see, the right kidney is slightly positioned lower than the left kidney. And these are the rough dimensions of the kidney. One kidney is roughly about 10 centimeters long and about 6 centimeters in width. Of course, it can vary from person to person, but on an average, this is how the kidneys are sized. Now, this is a structure of your entire urinary system. Okay, a typical human being's healthy urinary system would include all of these parts, which is one pair of kidneys, which opens into a couple of or a pair of tubular structures called ureters, which carry the urine produced in the kidneys through the ureters into a bag-like structure, which we call the urinary bladder. Temporary storage of urine occurs in the urinary bladder, and from there this opens to the exterior through what we call the urethra. Okay, so these are the major parts of the urinary system. I'm sure this is very, very simple. Just 4 major parts that you have to remember: kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. Now, another major part of the urinary system is the sphincter muscles. Sphincter muscles, what exactly are they? Now, sphincter muscles, just as they are found in many other parts of your body also, the urinary system's sphincter muscles, what they do is, you can see that there is an internal sphincter here and an external sphincter here. It is their contraction and relaxation. They are just muscles whose contraction and relaxation help us control the elimination, the act of elimination of urine. So when these muscles remain contracted, the urethral opening would remain closed. Okay, but then when you have to go to the washroom and when you have to attend to nature's call, the internal and the external sphincter muscles relax, because you deliberately make them relax so that the urethral opening can open to eliminate urine from the body. Okay, so this is how the sphincter muscles play a major role. Now, this is what you would see if you took a longitudinal section of the kidney. Now, what are they? Yes, now do remember, children, one important term, one important prefix we need to know as far as the excretory system is concerned is the term renal. Whenever you hear the term renal in biology, it is something to do with the kidneys. Pulmonary is something to do with the lungs. Gastro is something to do with your alimentary canal or your digestive system. Cardio or cardiac is something to do with your heart or the circulatory system, and so on. Do remember, in this case it is renal. Let us start from the outside of the kidney. As you can see, there is an outer protective layer which is called the renal capsule. Okay, this is one single kidney that we are looking at. We have a pair of such, we have one more such kidney on the other side. So the renal capsule is this outermost protective layer that we can see, and just inner to that, or the outer layer, this portion is what we call the renal cortex or the cortex. Okay, and inner to that, as you can see, is a region which is modified into several pyramid shaped structures that you can see, triangular or pyramid shaped structures, which we call medullary pyramid. In fact, this entire region where you find these medullary pyramids, we together call it the renal medulla. So we have an outer renal cortex and an inner renal medulla. Always remember, in biology, whether it's in plants or animals, the terms cortex and medulla are quite commonly used. It's outer cortex and inner medulla. Okay, so then what do you see? Renal column is these spaces that you can see here, renal column, what we call renal column, and the renal medulla opens or leads into an area which we call the renal pelvis. This brownish area that you can see, this portion, is called the renal pelvis. Okay, there is a lot more that we need to know. After the upcoming session, you will get a much clearer idea about how these parts actually function in synchrony with each other. Okay, the renal pelvis is right here. And then what do you see? It is in the renal pelvis that actually the urine which has been produced in different parts in the functional units of kidneys, which are actually called nephrons. Okay, as I said, more of it we'll be discussing in the upcoming session. The urine which is formed by the nephrons get emptied into the renal pelvis, and from there the urine is sent into the ureter. And the blood supply, as you can see, the renal artery and the renal vein are present here. The red one representing the artery, the blue one representing the renal vein. Okay, so this is about the longitudinal section of the kidney. So the major blood supply to the kidney, also you can see the major arteries and veins which are associated here. You don't have to know every single term which is given or labeled on this image, children. The major names that you have to know is the renal artery and the renal vein. The renal artery, just as any other artery in your body, brings blood from the heart through its different branches. The aorta branches further and further and brings blood into the kidneys. Okay, and then the renal vein carries deoxygenated blood from the kidneys and empties it back into the vena cava in your heart. Okay, so this is about the renal artery and the renal vein and their system, their network of further arteries and veins. As you can see, the arcuate vein, the arcuate artery, the interlobular artery and vein, and so on. Okay, so just for you to know, we have more and more capillary names to learn, which we will understand better when we understand more about the structure of nephron in the upcoming session. Okay, let us quickly play a very simple game, which is extremely basic. Let's label the kidney. What is this part? Part 1 that is labeled here. Yes, very quickly tell me. And your time is up. The answer is renal capsule. Remember, the outer covering. Okay, next one, part 2, which you see here. What is it? Into the renal capsule, we went further down, and what did we see? And further, what else did we discuss? Yes, your time is up. It is the renal medulla, which you can see here, the pyramid shaped structures. Right, okay. Now, what is this part? The red colored part. What is it called? Super easy, I'm sure. And your time is up. The answer is renal artery, of course. Yes, the red one is the renal artery. Blue one would be the renal vein. Now, what is the this white colored tube which has been marked here? This part marked as 4. What do you think it is? And absolutely right. The answer is ureter. Very well done, children. Because this is an important diagram as far as your exam is concerned also. But for ICSE, you can relax a little bit as compared to CBSE, children, in the sense that normally it's more of scope for diagram based questions which come rather than asking you to draw the entire diagram itself. Okay, so before we get into the quiz, I have a few interesting questions for you. But before that, I have a few useful things to tell you also. Many of our children this year in 2020 have been telling us that they've been facing newer problems like which they never even experienced until last year, until at least March this year, because the entire phase of education, as we know, have changed. Maybe you have a lot of unanswered doubts because you don't get to meet your teachers on a daily basis. Note making, like many children, even in my regular sessions also, many children keep telling me, ma'am, we don't know how to make notes, can you give us ready made notes? So in fact, this is one problem that most children face these days. Tests and assignments, because everyone is working from home, and even children are all studying from home, so probably like you're not getting that proper sense of tests and assignments. Competitive exam preparation becomes more of a challenge. Choice of schedule, choice of language, everything is a problem, but not a problem anymore, because as long as you are associated with Vedantu, all of these problems are completely solved for you. In addition to solving these problems, we also give you a lot of bonus features. And what are they? Access to unlimited live classes, plenty of micro and crash courses. So for those of you who don't know what micro courses are, they are basically chapter level or concepts level courses designed exclusively to strengthen your understanding of your difficult or weaker topics. Okay, then of course performance reports, personalized attention, because without them a course cannot be called complete. So how do you get to know more about this? Just visit the link which is given in the description box below, children, and the pinned comment. All you have to do is visit that link and apply the coupon code AMBPRO to avail the best offers that we have running right now. So to make things a little more clearer and obvious to you, just in case you're wondering whether or not it's going to be reasonably priced, I have some of those major details also. So once you click on the link which I said is given in the description box below, you will get an option to choose your grade. So it's going to be class 10 for most of you, I suppose, and your target would be ICSE 2021. So select that, and then it will take you to a page like this which lists out the features of Vedantu Pro. Okay, most of the features are listed out here in addition to whatever I have told you also. And then click on the button which says get subscription. Then what do? The pricing part, as I said, for a 1 month of Pro subscription course, which means for 30 days, you subscribe to Vedantu Pro for 30 days and you will get unlimited access to all of these features for all of your major subjects, normally priced at rupees 2,699, not per subject. This is overall, the overall price, like for all your subjects together, for unlimited sessions in that 1 month, it's priced at 2,699. But right now, we give you an offer, which is application of the coupon code AMBPRO. Just apply this to reduce your amount payable to 2,159.2. Okay, then what about 3 months? 3 months of subscription would mean that for the next 3 months you can be tension free, because for the next 3 months you will have unlimited access to all of these unlimited live interactive classes, test series and analysis, assignments and notes, and a lot more, most of which I've already told you about. 6,999 is the normal pricing currently without application of any coupon codes, but apply the code, the very same code which I said, AMBPRO, to fetch you a discount and reduce your amount payable to 5,599.2. Okay, this means for 3 full months for all your major subjects. And we also have a 6 months option for you, which means for the rest of this academic year, because we are in the month of October, for the rest of this academic year, you can be tension free. Okay, so it's normally priced at 11,499, but apply the coupon code AMBPRO to reduce it to 9,199.2. Well, children, just in case you're still confused about whether or not this is reasonably priced, well, 9,000 or 11,000 or something can still seem like a lot. But all I want you to do is a couple of very simple exercises. One is just compare it with the per session cost of any offline tuition classes that most cities in India would charge you. The typical cost that you would have to bear. Okay, just compare it with that monthly or per session cost, whatever it is. And that is one. And secondly, I want you to work out the per session cost. Now, this is going to be your total amount that you pay for 6 full months for all your major subjects together, which means make a list of how many sessions you would be able to avail totally in the next 6 months. How many sessions would you be able to avail through this? Divide this amount 9,199 by that total number of sessions to get the per session cost. Trust me, children, as a teacher and as a parent myself, I'm telling you, this is an extremely reasonably priced course out here as compared to most others that you would find in the country. Okay, so just try it out, see what works for you, discuss it with your parents also if you need to, and then make up your mind. But my suggestion is, do not give it up, do not just ignore it, because it's something that will be very, very useful to you, especially in this year of pandemic. Okay, so let's move on to question number 1 of today's quiz. Passing out undigested food through the rectum is called dash. Urination, excretion, defecation, elimination. And your time is up. The answer is defecation or egestion, as we also call it. Okay, next one. The organs which form, store and eliminate urine together form the excretory system, digestive system, the portal system, or the circulatory system. What do you think? Formation, storage and elimination of urine. Super duper easy. And your time is up. The answer is, beyond doubt, the excretory system or the urinary system. Now, excretion is the removal of dash. Basics. Undigested waste, nitrogenous waste, liquid waste, solid waste. And again, your time is up. The answer is nitrogenous waste, of course. The next question. Bile pigments. Remember where I told you about bile pigments? Bile pigments are produced by lungs, skin, kidney or liver. Yes, let's see how many of you paid attention to what I told you in this context. And your time is up. The answer is liver. Yes. All right. The next one. Dash among the following is the primary excretory organ, or are the primary excretory organs: the lungs, skin, kidney or liver. Primary excretory organs. Of course, I told you this is going to be the VIP for the rest of this chapter, and that is your kidneys. So that brings us to the next question. Urea should be eliminated from the body because it blocks the excretory system, it is toxic, it will be absorbed by the cells, or none of these. We have spoken about ammonia, urea, uric acid and all of that. Why should it be eliminated from the body? Can't it just stay? Well, it can't, and that is for a reason, and that is, it is toxic. Okay, and very, very well done if you have got all the answers correct, children. And in case you have not also, I would suggest go back and watch the replay of this video once again, get your concepts right, and the upcoming session we will continue with the same chapter. Well, let me remind you that you now know about excretory products and the organs of excretion. Okay, the primary and the accessory or secondary organs of excretion. So this is your homework question for today, which is very, very simple. Name the primary organ of the human excretory system. Okay, then let's see who's going to be giving me the answer first. And do remember to visit the link given in the description box below and pinned comment. The coupon code that you can apply to avail the benefits is AMBPRO. Okay guys, so do remember to hit the like button if you have found this session useful and have enjoyed it. Please do share it with all your friends so that they can also benefit from this particular session. And in case you've not subscribed to our channel yet, please do remember to click on the subscribe button right now, Vedantu 9th and 10th English, so that you don't miss out on any of the updates that we will be coming up with even in the days to come. Okay, so until we meet again, do remember to take care, stay safe and stay happy and healthy. This is Ambika signing off. Bye-bye.